All the participants are requested to turn off their mic and camera.
हाँ शीन मैम बोलिए। हाँ
Ektare madam, please off your mic.
With truth and love, our college let it go. Come be a strong and beautiful man. For God and country, really pledge we all. Led by the flag for which we stand. Blue for the mind that seeks the good and true. Red for a progress in the day. White for the glory of a heart that's pure. Bright with an ever shining flame. Alma mater, we hail. God give the years and grace success. With truth and love will conquer all. For God, a land and SFS. Alma mater, divine. God give the years and grace success. With truth and love will conquer all. For God, a land and SFS. With truth and love, let us unite in to our glorious college meet. High on the hill, a beacon light is she, leading our children on to faith. March on to glory, it's a message for spread truth and love from far and wide. Loyal to the hands who raise of guidance, teacher and pupil side by side. Alma mater, we hail. God give the years and great success. With truth and love will conquer all. For God, our land, let us celebrate. Alma mater, we hail. God give the years and great success. With truth and love will conquer all.
A very good morning to one and all. I, Dr. Shireen Iqbal, Assistant Professor in Zoology Department, St. Francis de Sales College, Nagpur, on behalf of SFS College, warmly welcome the gracious presence of all in this virtual webinar who have joined from the far and wide of our country on the occasion of International Tiger Day. St. Francis de Sales College, popularly known as SFS College, is a Catholic Christian minority institution managed by the Catholic Archdiocese of Nagpur and affiliated to Rashtrasant Tukaroji Maharaj Nagpur University, was established in 1956. It is assessed and accredited with A grade CGPA of 3.23 by NAC Bangalore. Situated on Seminary Hills in the sylvan surroundings with dark and deep lush green foliages, provides a tranquil atmosphere needed for studies away from the humdrum of city life. The college is known for its academic excellence and holistic development of the students. It molds the character of the students by inculcating moral values to instill in them the process of thinking rather than accumulation of information. It caters to the need of all the students, irrespective of caste, religion, class, and culture, to develop an all-round personality adaptable to multiple career openings and to be the better citizens of tomorrow. Tiger is the national animal of India. It is a symbol of beauty, bravery, strength, and nationality. To create awareness and raise open mindfulness for the protection of tiger from the major threats to their survival, it becomes our duty to save the tiger, save the nation's pride, and maintain the ecological balance. With this objective in mind, our principal, Dr. K.T. Thomas sir, has ventured his hand and paved the way to organize this webinar. Dr. K.T. Thomas sir is always there with his continuous support and guidance. It is he who has inspired and encouraged to organize this webinar on the topic Recent Trends of Conservation and Expansion of Wild Tiger Habitats. Now, let us begin with today's first session. I am honored to introduce today's resource person for the first session, Mr. Atul Deokar sir, Assistant Conservator of Forest, Pench Tiger Reserve, Maharashtra. A dynamic personality going to share his views on the topic Recent Trends in Wildlife Management. Sir has done his MSc in Environment, BA in Mass Communication and Journalism. At present, he is working for tiger conservation in Central Indian landscape. He has done research on conservation for endangered species like wild buffalo and vulture. He is an active member of Maharashtra State Gazetted Forest Officers Association, panelist in World Ranges Congress Nepal, and represented India on biodiversity conservation to Philippines. He has to his credit 4 books and many research papers. No matter how rough the road or how hard the rain, His dedication and commitment to his work has crowned him with 2 awards: Century Asia Award in 2016 and Earth Hero Royal Bank of Scotland in 2018. Before I welcome Sir, I request all the participants to kindly post their queries in the Google Meet chat box and YouTube live chat. Feedback link will be provided after the completion of both the sessions. Kindly fill the feedback form. On behalf of SFS College, I welcome Atul Deokar sir to share his valuable words with us. Please, sir, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible?
हेलो मैम आवाज नहीं आ रहा है, आवाज प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, साउंड नहीं आ रहा है मैम, साउंड प्रॉब्लम।
अभी आवाज आ रहा है आपको?
नहीं सर, थोड़ा कम आ रहा है।
Sound is perfect, sir.
Yes, sir. It's
I think
साउंड नहीं आ रहा
I
है
think we have some network issue. Sound is perfect.
Yeah, sound is perfect.
Yes, sir.
Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Thank you and welcome. As I just got introduced by ma'am, so thanks for that also, and I welcome all of you in the International Tiger Day. This seminar, I just read that there are participants from all over the country, from UP, from Karnataka, and from other parts of India also. So, as our today's topic, we are just discussing about the tiger conservation. So, the recent trends in conservation of wild tiger habitat, issues and mitigations. So, here myself, Atul Deokar, presenting this. So, today we are going to discuss about tiger, the needs of tiger, then challenges in tiger habitat, and then mitigations on field, and what's our role in conservation. So everyone knows about the importance of tigers. So we can say the umbrella species, we call tiger as umbrella species because the charismatic animal helps to save the all other creatures in the jungle. So here we can see the tiger as umbrella. He is protecting all other biodiversity, including grasses to butterflies to other animals. Because being a charismatic animal and apex set morphology, so tiger helps to get all these things to happen. So everyone knows about the normal tiger, but here you can see the other tiger mobs. So this is the normal tiger where actually most of knows about it. But we have black tiger also. So I think we have black panthers in all over the country, in Tadoba also, and in Gavin, I think. But this black tiger mostly found in Odisha in Simlipal tiger reserve. All these are the tigers from wild area. So white tiger, everyone knows about the Rewa history and anything. This is the white tiger from the Madhya Pradesh. And the fourth mob, I think only few may know about the golden tiger. So the golden tiger, this is the photo from Assam, Kaziranga Tiger Reserve. So these all four mobs, we can find it in wild. But of course, all these other mobs are, we can say, the rare or maybe due to genetic mutations and color variations only. These are not the species, another species. These are the same species, but having just different mobs. So tiger conservation, as we discuss more about tiger conservation in current situation and this thing, but the tiger conservation starts in 1947 and before that also, as we have Indian Forest Act in 1926, we have declared reserve forest in 1878. The first forest act in India launched by British government was in 1878. So we have block forest from onward 1878. So after 1947, after independence, up to 1970, we protect the shikar blocks. So I think most of may have know about the Air India flights. They have advertised themselves as come in India and have and enjoy the shikar. So we have shikar blocks just in Nagpur also. We have Maharaj Bagh, which was game reserve. Earlier, the concept was of game reserve, where one person can came to India and he can have ticket. He can have permit for doing hunting. So we were also promoting that up to 1970. But after 1970, we got ban on tiger hunting. Some international conferences are also we are attended on 1970. So the hunting ban on hunting of tiger was endorsed in 1970. After 1973, when the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ji declared the Tiger Project in 1972, and the Wildlife Protection Act also came in 1972. So at that time, we developed the concept of tiger reserve or core area approach, and then we declared the 9 tiger reserves all over the India. One of that Melghat Tiger Reserve was from Maharashtra. Kana was also there. Jim Corbett was also there. But after 25 to 30 years, then the concept of buffer came to in mind that just protecting core may not be sufficient as the number of tiger was reduced up to 14, 11 only. So the concept of buffer strategy was evolved in 2005 after the National Board of Wildlife in 2002. Now, latestly, we are working on the landscape level approach. So we are not just thinking about a single tiger reserve. We are thinking about landscape, just like just we discussed in also. We are working in central India or the northern portion of India. So today's work is not limited to a single tiger reserve. We are working on a landscape level, and also active management is there. This is just not about just protection. It's something more than that. So we can discuss in further slides also. And trans-border management, we are helping Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh also to have better tiger management in their area. So after 1947, we can say the Indian Board of Wildlife was constituted in 1952. As 1969, we have IUCN General Assembly, 10th IUCN General Assembly, where the resolution on protecting tiger get passed. And then after we have ban on hunting of tiger, then Indian Board of Wildlife, 5-year ban for shooting of tiger, then Wildlife Protection Act, then the Project Tiger came to 1973, then Tiger Task Force get involved in 2005, and the amendments were made. Then the National Tiger Conservation Authority, which was earlier as a Project Tiger Authority, then it came to the National Tiger Conservation Authority, who is in handling the all tiger related issues all over the India. Then active management issues, just like translocation of tiger, Sariska, then the notifying the more number of tigers. Just now, I think in just last week only, we have declared a 52nd of tiger reserve in Rajasthan. And then we have International Assembly in 2010 in Russia, in St. Petersburg, about doubling the number of tigers. And the target was up to 2022, but in India, we doubled the tiger count in 2018 only. So this is the status of tiger in 2018. You can see the all blue part is about the sampled area, where we do the sampling for the tiger, not all over the country, but the patches where tiger was supposed to found. So we sampled the area. You can see here the 317,058 sample plots were there. You can see this is the largest ever wild animal sampling survey in the world, and so we have a Guinness Book of Record for this also. So 5,22,1996 kilometer foot survey was carried in a week all over the India. So, and you can see here 26,038 camera traps locations. So we use camera trap. Earlier we used to have pug mark census method, which then the Mr. Ullas Karan and all other NGOs and government also find that the number found in pug mark census may not be that much of reliable. So the concept of camera trap got evolved, and now all over the world we are using camera trap for counting the tigers. So we have 75%, more than 75% of world wild tiger population, and this is 2,967. And this is the average number. It can be less than 10% and more than 10%, because one can have some statistical analysis that the number that the actual photographs we found are 2,500, and the statistical analysis evolved in 2,967 tigers. So we can see here the Madhya Pradesh have largest number, equal to same as above in Karnataka also 524, Maharashtra 312. Here we have highlighted the complete state, but out of 312 tigers, we can see that the central Indian Vidarbha part have almost 300 tigers. So the one of the highest density in the area, and this is about 442 tigers. So what actually tiger need? We can talk about anything, even about human also. We have Darwin theory and everything, but the need of all animals and humans are the same. This is the habitat, mate, and corridors. So we are now focusing on the habitats, as our today's concept is about the expansion or issues in habitat. Then the mate, tiger moves for mate, male and female have to mate to have next progeny, and the corridors. So tiger have to move from one habitat to another habitat through corridor. And so if we preserve all these things, habitat, mate, and corridors, then only we can that we have a good tiger conservation plan. So just having a single or two tigers is not the tiger conservation. For having feasible population of tiger, we should have 20 females in a tiger reserve. The area should be at least 1,000 square kilometer, where at least 80 to 100 tigers are there. So this is the tiger dynamics, where a patch of forest, or we can say the landscape, where at least these number of tigers should be there, having 10 breeding females, 10 non-breeding females, and males. So the at least 80 tigers population in a 1,000 square kilometer area is a feasible population, we can say, for the tiger conservation. So we can see here all the tiger reserves, and the corridors are here. The central Indian part, which is connecting each tiger reserve, and in less patches. So as we have discussed just now, the 1,000 square kilometer area, these patches are really small than what we are expecting to have a good feasible population. So we have joined the landscape approach. You can see here the Amravati to NSTR, then Sundarban is one of the good and what we say the ideal tiger habitat with the good landscape in Sundarban. We have 88 tiger numbers and almost 2,000, more than 2,000 square kilometer area. So these patches are feasible populations of a tiger. So do we really have space for tiger? As increasing population, of course, just being presenting these slides, that number may have increased. So we have a lot more discussion on the number of people or population, but density and the per capita area. So we have 0.32 hectare only. So this is one of the reason where India, a developing country, needs more land for their development and for assessing the needs of populations and to mitigate them. So in most of the public perception is that why we need tigers. We don't have land for humans, and why we are going for tiger conservation. And the issues are really there. So what are the issues in tiger conservation? So one of the major portion what we discuss is habitat. So these are three major problems in habitat: habitat loss, habitat fragmentation, habitat degradation. So it happens due to encroachment, grazing, fire, NTP collection, land use pattern, more number of population increase. So here we can see the color variation. This is the historical tiger presence was here, and now in saffron, dark saffron color, the current tiger presence. So you can see here the area reduced to up to 10% only. So in generally, most of people are asking that India should have 1 lakh tiger population. So yeah, we can have 1 lakh tiger population if we have the habitat just what is in history. So you can see here the issue. Kazakhstan, Russia have just only in few patches tiger. In China, there is no tiger in wild. They have 4,000 to 5,000 tigers, but in captivity. They have zoos and the tiger farming, but we Indians, we are working on the wild tiger population and not on just a tiger population. In you can say the Java, Sumatra, Indonesian part, we have also tiger and subspecies which were partly apart from each other. So they are the species in different color. So this is the loss. There were 8 tiger subspecies were there, out of which 3 tigers subspecies, just like Caspian tiger, Java tiger, and Burmese tiger, are extinct from wild. Now we have good number of population of Bengal tiger, but the largest one as Siberian tiger in Russia is also on increasing trend. But South China tiger is also one of the major concern for tiger conservation, as the possibility of extinction is higher in South China tiger. So about habitat, we can say tiger needs a lonely patch and forest, and we humans, at least we don't have a space to walk on the road also. So we can say, you can see here, we have lost almost more than 4,500 million hectares of forest land for agriculture, townships, river valley projects. So the trend of habitat goes on decrease always. So major loss is about mining also. So as just about geographical conditions, we can say the mines mines and tribals are on the tiger habitat. So in Central Indian green belt, we can see Orissa, Jharkhand, Bihar, and Maharashtra, Vidarbha part, Madhya Pradesh as Balaghat part, and so on to the Orissa. So we have mining in the same land, we have tiger on the same land, and we have tribal population on the same land. So we have to mitigate all these factors to conserve each other, because need of mine is also there for development of country. We should respect and preserve the tribal culture, and we should also preserve and conserve the tiger habitat. So there is major loss of tiger habitat in mining. Larger dams here in Nagpur, we get water from Totlado Dam. As the increase in population of Nagpur city, we should increase number of dams, and then the dams are responsible for major habitat loss. You can see this is the Pench Tiger Reserve from Madhya Pradesh, and this is the Pench Tiger Reserve from Maharashtra. The forest patch was almost got reduced by one third of the area for the Totlado Dam. So such larger dams are also responsible for the habitat loss of tiger. You can say here are more than 125 tigers in Pench, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh as a single landscape. But having a dam on this side, the movement on other side get restricted. The major habitat got reduced. So another major issue is about habitat fragmentation. So in fragmentation, we can say the exposed habitat is responsible for degradation of habitat also. So the habitat fragmentations, we can see the linear infrastructures, the highways and dams and canals and everything are responsible for the habitat fragmentation. 60% of India's forest cover is represented by only 100 square kilometer of patches. So we don't have larger forest patches, and as we compare to Western Ghat and Central India, we have more number of large patches in Central India, but they are more isolated. While we have less number of larger patches in Western Ghat, but they are near to each other. We can say just bisected by roads and canals only. Yeah, this is about the same only. Here we can see about the Western Ghat. This is the NH4A, which is passing through Kali Tiger Reserve near to Karnataka and Goa border. Here you can see this is about the December 2018. The road development was just started, and you can see the felling of trees and the opening of forest. So the patch becomes in, and in next year we can get this is in February 2019. So you can see the patch, or you can see the fragmentation of habitat. So the habitat get bisected, the traffic on road get increased, so the animal movement on the road get decreased. Here you can see the Western Ghat, which have bisected all these roads, and the habitat fragmentation due to linear infrastructure is one of the major concerns in today's conservation issues. Then the habitat degradation. We have lost habitat, then we have fragmented habitat, and now the habitat which we have is also degraded one. So you just can see here about our agriculture also. What we have agriculture development in 1947 was get developed, and we are developing agriculture. We take arable land under cultivation. We increased canal, and we tried to get irrigation facilities all over the flatlands. So the habitat get degraded in each part where the wild animals were there, and this habitat degradation, what you can see the loss in biodiversity. So what we are currently facing, corona, is the zoonotic disease, and these zoonotic diseases are born from this habitat degradation only. I just saw a message from Professor, I just forgot name, but from Shimoga, Karnataka. And we just always say that China sends us something, all these diseases are come from other area and other countries. We Indians are protecting habitat and biodiversity. But yeah, we have one such concern, that KFD, Koinasu forest disease, which we know as monkey fever, is born in India, in Karnataka, in Shimoga district of Karnataka, and this is the tick-borne disease, and we have such fatal cases. Just 3% is the fatal rate, as more than our corona. So we must think about all these habitat degradation issues also. So here you can see this is the light map of 1992. Just this is the Nagpur area, and you can see this is the Vidarbha lower part near to Tadoba and Tipeshwar, Yavatmal area. You can see the light area in this part in 1992. Now see, in 2013, we have townships, villages, roads all over in this area, and so the issue of tiger in human landscape. So just we always say that yeah, tiger comes in human habitat, but actually we came to the tiger habitat. You can see here near to Tipeshwar, near to Tadoba area, the land is you can see near to Pench also, near to Nalegaon Nagzira also. You can just compare to 1992 and this is 2013. The increased light map, this indicates that the habitat get fragmented, habitat get lost and also degraded. Degradation also causes due to fire. In central India, all in India, we have only 1% of natural fire cases. due to tree cutting and everything. But all the fire cases, 99% fire cases are human born. So are deliberately we can say the public is having fire in jungle to get encroached, to have some more land for their development, and this causes the habitat degradation. You can see this is the fire map of last year. This is the Pench tiger in Maharashtra, and all over you can see the fire patches. This is the NNTR. We are protecting our tiger reserve, but not the corridors and other habitat which we have to protect. So fire is also one of the major concerns for the degradation of tiger habitat. The other is grazing. Grazing, you can see the number of cattle, and all these are the unproductive cattle, not the milch cattle, which were sent to jungle for their having their fodder and not. And you can see this is the firewood collection. So as Indian democratic conditions, we have community forest rights over jungle. So we one can take a load of fuel wood or firewood on their head load. So, but the chain of these things degrade the habitat. So you can see this is what they are doing is just destroying the habitat. So this year, the last 2 years, Indian's status forest report 2019, they have first time analyzed the pressure on forest land. So the governments had studied these points. These are the villages near to forest area which they were sampled, and here are the number, and this is really a big number for the dependency. You can see here, you can see the total fuel wood in the 85,000 ton. So 85 lakh ton fuel wood, and you can see the fodder also, small timber and bamboo. These are the dependence from the annual forest pressure on jungle. So you can see why our jungle is not increasing, or we were having dense forest up to 10%, but now it reduced to 1% dense jungle, because we are in today's world also we are mostly depend on the forest area for this fuel wood, fodder and small timber. About Maharashtra, you can see there 95 lakh ton fuel wood is collected from the forest dwelling communities near the forest area. Yeah, this is not all of the population. These are just dependencies on near to forest area only. So fodder 15.72 crore ton, small timber 8.62 lakh cubic meter, and bamboo 1.29 lakh ton. This is all the official data from status of forest report. Here you can see the Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, and Odisha have major dependent on forest. So these habitat conditions also responsible for loss of corridor connectivity. As we discussed about fragmentation, we discussed about habitat degradation, and this is now loss of corridor connectivity. As we discussed earlier, need of tiger, habitat, mate, and corridor. So this is about the corridor. So the linear infrastructure like road, railway lines, irrigation canals, electric transmission lines, and all other things are responsible for the corridor loss. So this is the Central Indian landscape, mostly studied by Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun. So we have good research projects in Central India, and we have good map about this. So we are, let's discuss about Central India and corridor. You can see this is the dark red is from Pench, Maharashtra. This is the Pench, Madhya Pradesh. You can see Kana Tiger Reserve, Satpura Tiger Reserve. We have Melghat Tiger Reserve here and Tadoba Tiger Reserve here. So these were the earlier corridors and connecting spot, which a tiger from Pench landscape can move to Kana landscape, can move to Satpura Tiger Reserve. But, the connectivity between Pench and Navega Nagzira is not that much of feasible, and to the Tadoba and to the Bor. So we are working on this area to have better connectivity. So about the EVL, EVL is most studied area by Wildlife Institute of India. So you can see the why we call Nagpur as the tiger capital. You can see the Pench, Nagzira, Navega, Umred Karandla, Tadoba, Bor, Kawal, Tipeshwar, Kana and Satpura. All these tiger reserves are near to Nagpur, so we call it as a tiger capital of India. But the issues related to these are, you can say, the connecting land is cultivated one. You can see the cultivated land, the yellow in color, and Penge to Navegao is the area which is not that much of visible or corridor. You can see tiger reserve, Tadoba have almost 100 tiger, Brahmapuri have 40 tigers, which is near to Tadoba tiger reserve and which is not a tiger reserve or a sanctuary. You can have Central Chanda, Umred Karandla, Bor, Penge, and Naregaon, Nagzira, Tepeshwar. So we have all these tigers near to Nagpur, but they are sparsely distributed here and there. So these tigers move from not only forest area, you can see the cultivated land also. So the tiger from Penge to Bor, Bor to Umred Karandla, then to Tadoba, then to Navegaon, Nagzira, and then to Kabul Tiger Reserve, and also the Indravati Tiger Reserve in Chhattisgarh. So these red spots are indicating that there is a high movement of tiger from this area, and other are the frequent movement from the frequent movement of the tiger from one source area to the another sink area. So you can see here, it's about the you can see here the villages and the pressure on forest land. You can see the 5,000 square kilometer open to anthropogenic effect. These are the corridor area, which are you can say these are not notified. Notified area is 65%, but the other area is you can see the private area of agriculture or canal or anything. So the movement of tiger is prone to the anthropogenic effects. You can see the canal, railway, road, electric lines cut the forest, and it creates the habitat fragmentation. So these are the protected area of India. You can see the all over India we have protected area, but these should be connected to each other. But the problem is, you can see here, protected areas are get fragmented due to these highways. You most of us knows about NH7, NH44 case of Penge Tiger Reserve, what we discussed about NH4 in Kavalta, Kali Tiger Reserve, and you can see all other tiger reserves are get fragmented due to these railway and highways. Yeah, our road network increased to the 58.9 lakhs kilometers into the making, and you can see the increase in road in last 5 to 6 years. You can see this is about award, but this is the construction. In last two Corona period, we have awarded a less number, but we have constructed more road length, and these are the increasing problem. So you can see what is the actual problem. This is the Navegaon Nagzira Tiger Reserve. You can see this is the Navegaon part, this is the Nagzira part, and this is a single tiger reserve bifurcated by NS6, then the railway lines. It is also by another railway line. We have mines here, and the patches of villages. This is the you can see all these the areas are villages which actually affect and which are actually depend on the forest land of a tiger reserve. So having tiger, conserving a tiger in such habitat is really a difficult task. You can see we have just see about this area. So this is about Tadoba. Tadoba is also, this is about Godazari, this is Kanargaon, and this is Tadoba landscape. And this is also bifurcated by lands and everything. So what actually happens due to increasing road length or widening of a highway? You can have this book impacts of road on individual wildlife population and ecosystem. You can see here wildlife mortality. This is when a road was there about unwidened and something. Wildlife can move from across the road easily and get accident and get killed. But they get attracted due to some things and they get scratched. But when they get far from the highway, but sometimes the herd, if we can say, we can have examples of road kills about tiger, about leopard, because these are the individual animals. They can or they try to cross the highway. But what about herd animals, just like Indian boar, spotted deer, sambars? They once they get came to near to road, the herd can seem that we can't cross the road, so they divert, and so this makes the effect of fragmentation and the single population. So they never cross the road. So the population from area A and area B will be sparsely distributed and never meet each other, and we shouldn't the genetic base will get lessened. So you can see we are just always talking about national highways, but road widening in forest area is also one of the issues, because the speed on this road will be of 20 to 30 kilometer per hour, but on this it grows to 40 to 50. And if we get such clean and good road in the forest area, the speed will be more than 80 kilometer per hour. One may not misunderstand that foresters don't want development in India or no road development in forest area. Actually, these are issues we will discuss in solutions also. We are not against the development. We want development with mitigations. One must listen about this. So these are the, we can say, these are not the highways. These are the normal roads. But the speed, due to these road conditions and road widening, the speed of the vehicles get increased. And tigers, which was earlier was easy to cross in the 3-meter road, but crossing the 6-meter wide road with double traffic and the traffic time, they get confused and get killed in such instance. This is about electric lines. So transmission lines is also another threat. In central India, the poaching incidents due to the electrocutions are getting increased. This is the easy method for poaching, and a biggest task for forest department to avoid these things. And we are managing these things. You can see the 11 kV lines. If a tiger gets shocked from that, it gets burned like this. This is the tiger burned by farmer when it get electrocuted in his farm. So they tried to hide this thing, because they were not tried this for commercial poaching, but they tried to have herbivore population, poaching of a herbivore, but they can get tiger and leopard. So these are the really tragic incidents happening in central India. You can see this is the cut. This is the mark of electrocuted poaching. You can see this cut as electrocution. And so as a forester, we try to patrol not only in forest area, we have to patrol in agricultural land also to avoid these incidents. You can see the Wildlife Institute of India studied in Eastern Vidarbha landscape, where we found these high-risk villages, and then very high-risk villages and medium-risk villages. And we are managing the habitat and patrolling the habitat as per this report. Then about corridor loss, we are again have a smaller irrigation dams. This the Human River is there, and the project of having a dam over on this river, which actually affect the corridor from Tadoba. So tigers moving from Tadoba to other area will get affected, and the tiger population in Tadoba will get centric, and what we can say, the genetic base of tiger will also get reduced. So the project was get opposed. You can see here, these are the tiger outside the Tadoba area. So these numbers are, the spots are of tiger numbers we found in the outside the Tadoba tiger reserve, not the inside. So this is about dispersal of tigers, what we discussed in May. So our tiger from Chandrapur area, Chandrapur thermal power station, moved to Satpura tiger reserve. You can see if you assume to have a map from Chandrapur to Satpura tiger reserve, it's almost 500 kilometer area. So the tiger dispersed on his own, and the camera trapping of CTPS area and camera trapping of Satpura area get resulted that the tiger from Chandrapur moved to Satpura in Madhya Pradesh. And the story of T1C1 Walker. Everyone knows about that. The tiger was radio-collared in Tipeshwar sanctuary. It walks for almost 2,000, more than 2,000 kilometers in more than 200 days. It crossed to Telangana, 10 districts, more than that villages, and not just forest area. The tiger travels to agricultural land, crosses highways and nalas, rivers, everything. So you can see it was recovered in 14th March 2019, and as it was radio collared, we can get map of his movement. So you can see this is near to Tipeshwar, and it moves to other than the Aurangabad area where we were not supposed to have tigers. But this tiger move, and we get to know that tiger move by this route, and we have to protect this habitat. We have to protect these corridors for further study. You can see. Then it get get one forest area where he want to stay, and he move in that area. So in these two maps, you can see that the tiger was moving in agricultural land in a straight direction, but when he get a sanctuary, he get settled here for some time. He don't find a mate here, so he again walk for finding a mate. You can say what actually tiger needs. You can see here in Buldana also. So other issues like poaching is one of the major threat for the tiger conservation. Revenge killing, commercial poaching, superstitions, aphrodisiac value having tiger is one of the major superstitions in India, and even in China also. They use the tiger bone, skin, any part of the tiger for having medicines, which are superstitions. Diseases, tiger also have diseases. We can have news from just last 2-3 months. We have 8 tigers who get COVID positive. We get lions also get COVID positive. So the tiger tourism in all tiger reserves area, we have stopped the tiger tourism. So you can see here the revenge killing. The tiger in human-dominated landscape, he find an easy prey like buffalo, cattle, because they are not that much of wild like cheetah, spotted deer, or sambar. So tiger can easily caught the buffalo and cattle. So tiger in this area, you can see the poaching incidences. This is from the Rajasthan area. These are the simple equipment used for poaching, but are really fatal and effective. Diseases, you can see, I think no one can imagine to stand against a tiger, but a diseased dog can do. You can see here, a tiger is in scary movement, not the dog. But the disease, because tiger know that, this is something fishy, what he can feel from this dog. So tiger near human habitations, you can see tiger here, but you should know that the problem is these guys. What we are doing in this landscape where what we can say is that if a JCB is doing work of cleaning the gutter, then also 10 to 15 people can stand there and to see clean. And this is about the tiger. Everyone knows that the attack of tiger may be fatal to all of these guys, but these are standing there and having so much of noise and everything. So the managing this tiger is really a smaller problem, but managing these guys is really a big problem for forest department. These are also another incidences we can see here. A tiger in an open well. When he moves to the area in search of water or in search of prey, in search of mate, they get fell in the open well, and they can't get rescued easily if the information is not equal. So these are the area major problems. So then, how could we save tiger? Could we save tiger? So let's discuss about the solutions. Ma'am?
Yes, sir.
May I have 10 more minutes for that?
Yes, sure, sir, sure.
Yeah, please. So let's discuss about tigers. How to save our tigers. We have policy level measures. We have just discussed that notifying tiger reserves. We have 9 tiger reserves in 1972, and recently we have 52 tiger reserves in India. We have created National Tiger Conservation Authority. Then we have Special Tiger Protection Force in tiger reserve for better protection measures. The management measures, we have management planning, habitat management, we have research organizations to do legal measures. We took to invoke legal provisions for protections. Participatory management measures are just like we are developing eco development committee in the buffer villages and near to other villages also, which are depend on forest for their livelihood. So we are trying to involve them for the tiger conservation. We are get also outreach measures just like what we are doing now, conservation education. So we are telling to people that what we are doing and what is our requirement and how you can participate with us. So now we are taking the multi-stakeholder tiger conservation approach. We are trying to involve the other department than forest department, NGOs, CSR funds, researchers, communities, media, judiciary, tourism initiatives, and about multi-pronged field management strategy. We have a habitat development, protection strategy, eco-development, training and HRM, research technology, outreach to the people, active management in landscape level. And about the need of tiger, we have discussed about habitat. So you can see this is the Satpura Tiger Reserve of Madhya Pradesh, and these are the villages inside a tiger reserve. So creating inviolate space in a tiger reserve, we are shifting these tiger villages outside a tiger reserve to minimize the dependency on forest area and to get more habitat as a managed and what you can say well managed habitat for a tiger. So we are shifting this tiger reserve with a good relocation plan. You can see these were the villages inside a tiger reserve, and they are shifted and relocated, rehabilitated in the other area, like this one. In some of the tiger reserve, we have electronic surveillance, e-surveillance system also for better communication to each other and about the problem analysis and the mitigations. So we have discussed about the issues due to road widening and increase in road length about tiger reserve. But this is about the underpasses on NH44 in Pench Tiger Reserve near to Nagpur only. This is the world's largest mitigation measure on road. So this was the 750-meter mitigation measure. Now currently we are working in empty side with 1100-meter mitigation measure on this side. So these are the underpasses created to join these two habitat. Because if road is there, then these two habitat can never be made. The animal can't cross this road. So these underpasses, or you can say overbridge, are constructed to get a pass for animal, not for the human. So these are such kind of mitigations are used in central India, and now the central government also accepted this proposal for doing these things for all over India. We are having such underpasses, and these are really working. You can see the wild dog, sloth bear, leopard, and tiger. These are animals moving from this area, and they are enjoying the tiger connectivity. You can see this is the patch near to Pench Tiger Reserve, Maharashtra, where they have created the underpasses. So where we have forest area near to other area, so tiger can cross from this area to the nearby area through the underpasses, and road accidents can be minimized. We can't say that these are the 100% foolproof mechanism, but of course we are able to minimize them. Now active management. So about tiger death, we can have, excuse me. Active management. This is the Chitral Mangi enclosure in Pench Tiger Reserve, Maharashtra. This enclosure is developed for rewilding treatment for the orphan cubs. In sometimes when mother gets get killed or get poached or get hunted somewhere, then our cubs are get rescued, and we allow them to be in enclosure and to try to make them able to live in wild condition, because the aim of our tiger conservation is species recovery, species conservation, not individual tiger, but we try to have a good wild tiger population. So we
ഞാനെല്ലാം എഴുതിയതാ ടീച്ചർ അല്ല ടീച്ചർ പറഞ്ഞു ഒന്നുകൂടെ എഴുതി പഠിച്ചു.
Okay, so we can have this tiger rewilding center. So here we rescue a tiger cub, and then we train them to having various food, how to get develop and monitor hunting skills, and then behavioral progress. So operation of 1 and 5 years or 1 year may be sufficient to get them exposure about the wilderness and the behavioral progress. Then we can rewild it and we can release it into wild. So we have developed the rapid rescue units. We can have a special modified vehicle, and then we have rescue materials, and we train them to have monitor ready callers. So now we are also doing patrolling with digital platform, just like EM Stripe, where a mobile-based patrolling unit is there. All these red tracks are the foot patrol only, and they are GPS marked. And one can see here that in a 1 year in Pench Tiger Reserve, Maharashtra, we have patrolled 176,914 kilometers on foot. Vehicle, boat patrol, and all the patrols are not included in this area. So in the 1 year, we walk through forest area for this much of kilometer, and not a single attack was reported in area. So there is always scope for research. This is developed by Wildlife Conservation Trust, WCT, NGO, and we can see there. This is habitat, and we have here road and railway network, and human activity, and then the animal presence. So the developing mitigations, analyzing the situations, and the getting solution from the problem, we are having very good scope of this area. So this is also about the central Indian landscape. You can see the here to Rajasthan, to UP, to Bihar. This is the tiger movement reported and possible measures we need to take for the better tiger conservation. So the central Indian landscape up to northern portion, we have a really good chance and scope to work on and to develop a better mitigation structure for the better tiger conservation. So the tiger estimation is also with using the Android map, Android apps. Active management of tiger translocation. So of course, these are the rare incidences where we can get permission to use helicopter to translocate a tiger from one tiger reserve to another tiger reserve, rescuing any animal. So this is in Marathi, but we can say that the Tiger Foundations helps to local than to other area. So we have another this is training program. So what Tiger Reserve Foundation want to do is to trying to minimize the dependency of forest from the forest dwelling community. So we try to involve them in the various skill development programs. So here we can see we are having a Pench Hospitality Training Center. So here 1,114 students are getting enrolled. 62% are used from the tribal families. We have covered almost 15 protected areas like sanctuaries, national park, tiger reserve, from 168 villages from Maharashtra. You can see here the district covered from this. So these are the unskilled youths. They interested for the skill development training. So they get trained in our center. And so these are the same guys who are working in minimum 4 star hotels. They get well packaged and You can see this 974, almost 88% youth replaced, and all the money for their what do you say, everything is brought from the tiger tourism. So the money from tiger safari, tiger tourism is not going to what do you say, treasury of the government. The Tiger Reserve Foundation is using 90% of the fund for the local villagers only, not to the any other state government programs. So we have other solutions also. We are trying to cover all the open wells to avoid the incidences of death of tiger or other animals into open wells. So we are trying to fencing these things. These are the 100% funded by the government only. We are promoting the solar fencing and to avoid the electric connection for this. We are distributing LPG, and this we are also helping them with refilling, 75% subsidized refilling for the forest dwelling communities, because what we have discussed earlier about the fuel wood collection, it's in crores and tons. So to minimize the dependency for the fuel wood, we are distributing LPG gas in the area. We are also developing the primary response teams in the villages to handle the man-animal conflict. We are promoting the skill development trainings to the all villagers and youths and to the women for getting benefit from the ecotourism facilities and to minimize the forest dependency. So I must thanks to the all the research activities, NGOs, individuals who have these data, developed these data, photos and maps, and the National Tiger Conservation Authority, Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun, and Maharashtra Forest Department to giving me such exposure and to get this activity, to get to know about in various trainings and workshops. So the references are from them only, and thank you. I just get a little bit fast to get cover it in time. So the questions what you all have may have in the chat box or in YouTube chat. We will discuss it later. Thank you.
Sir, your presentation was excellent. Thank you, sir, for your enriching words on the conservation of forest and tigers. You have made us aware of the fact that how important it is to conserve and protect the wildlife, especially the tigers, to keep them in jungle and not in history. You have explained so well, sir, the protected areas and the road networks also. Well, sir, some questions are there from the participant side. Shall we proceed with it?
Sure, sure.
Thank you, sir. So the first question, can tiger farming be done to increase its population?
Tiger farming?
Be done to increase its population?
Yeah, we can do tiger farming if you want to have tiger in your home, but the tiger conservation is not meant for just having animals. We are doing these things for having wild tiger population, because what we are seeing that developing a hybrid tiger, or you can have photos just having a band in the tiger neck and walking along the road and everything. These things happen in America. They have these things, and also in China also they are having tiger farming for their medicinal use and these things. But India is such a country which is having more than 80% wild tigers in India, because the species recovery program is about wild tigers and not about having these tigers at home. We can have tiger farming only if we are having just 10 to 15 tigers in India. Then we should go for tiger farming to have preserve the genetic base and this kind of things. We are doing this for the wild buffalo. Everyone knows about the tiger, but wild buffalo we are having just 50 individuals in central India, or we can say the purest breed in India are only 50 individuals, where we must have to work on the farming conditions. So we are using artificial insemination to get the next progeny, because the sex ratio is also not well maintained about wild buffalo. We are having just 2 to 3 male and 70 to 20 females. So we must have to work on the farming or the other techniques only when individuals are get in very less number, or what we have is the feasible population. So as we are having feasible population of tiger, we should not encourage tiger farming, and also the zoo also.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, one more question from one of the participants' side. What measures can be taken in the agricultural fields that are near to the forest area so that there is no loss to humans as well as to the wildlife?
Yeah, very good questions. Actually, we are promoting solar fencing to avoid the crop degradation from wild animals. We are giving it 75% subsidy for the same, and we are also offering chain link fencing for them. We are promoting that something just like having a mobile or loudspeaker. When we are working in a agriculture field, you should have some sound. Just we discuss here that we walk through forest where almost 80 tigers are there for more than 1 lakh kilometer without a single incidence of tiger attack. Because showing our presence, tiger generally avoid the human presence, and he interested to walk away from the human presence. So if you are using some music or some, you can say, loud song on your mobile, then also tiger or leopard can move away from your area. And we are having some aniders also, where alarm systems, or you can say beep sounds are there about the presence of tiger. So we can use these things. If the patient want to know more details, he can email me on. I have just shared my email also. So one can email, so I can share the other measures to him.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You have cleared all the doubts of the participants very efficiently. Your inspiring words will spread awareness among participants about wildlife conservation and protection. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and sharing your precious time with us. I extend my sincere gratitude to Principal Dr. Katie Thomas, sir, for organizing this webinar and enabling it to be a successful one. I thank the complete organizing team. Now, let us proceed with the second session. I request Dr. Sarika Garao, an assistant professor in Botany Department, to proceed with the second session. Please, madam, over to you.
Ma'am, please unmute your mic.
Sorry. Thank you, Shirin ma'am, and good morning, everyone. It is rightly said that we don't own the planet, but we belong to it, and we must share it with our wildlife. The continued existence of wildlife and wilderness is important to the quality of human life. Man-wild conflicts occur when the needs and behavior of wildlife impact negatively on humans, or when humans negatively affect the needs of wildlife. To elaborate further on this, we have with us Dr. Pratik Bankar, Assistant Professor at ZAP Learning Solution, LLP, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. Sir is MSc and PhD in zoology. He has teaching experience of 8 years. His key areas of research include animal physiology, sickle cell disease, hematology, nutritional, socio-economic, fishery, aquaculture, and biodiversity. He is assistant editor, reviewer, and member of review committee for renowned journals like International Journal of Medical and Health Research toxicology. He has participated and presented papers in many seminars, conferences, symposia, and workshops. Sir has 5 research papers published in national and international journals. Now I invite Dr. Pratik Bankar to present his views and opinions on the topic Man and Wild Conflict. But before we begin the session, participants are requested to post their questions in the Google Meet chat box or YouTube live chat. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
My pleasure.
I think screen sharing is.
Lazarus, sir, I think you can help him
Okay.
out.
Okay,
Sir,
got it. Got it. Okay, is it visible? Full?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Thank you. So, good afternoon, all. Welcome all. This one-day national webinar on recent trends in conservation, and expansion of wild tiger habitat. We got fabulous great lectures on recent trends. We got a fabulous guest lecture on the recent trend in wildlife management with respect to tiger from Mr. Atul Deokar sir, and we understood what are the new trends and what is going on in the government bodies as well as in the for the wildlife structures. Okay, so one emerging and arising issue we will discuss in this my presentation. That is, the topic of my presentation is man-wild conflict. Think just a moment.
Lazarus sir.
मैम वो उनका नेटवर्क इशू की वजह से वो मीटिंग लेफ्ट हो गए तो
Okay,
आ रहे हैं वो वापस।
okay, sir.
Murthy sir, please turn off your video. Please turn off your video, sir.
Yes. Okay. So okay. So basically, sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, due to electric current gone, so it was happened. Now, my topic of presentations today's my topic of presentation is man-wild conflict. First, we will understood the background of the human and wildlife relationship, as human is human population is increasing on globe. So if we observe on the globe, okay, so on the globe, the human population was increasing day by day. Rapid expansion of agricultural as well as urban area and infrastructure is happening due to the roads, railway networks, or we can say electricity networks, and they are increasing day by day. And if you observe the wildlife habitats, so they are reducing day by day. Okay. So because of the fragmentation of wildlife habitat by the human activity and the behavior of the species are changed in the case of human activity, in the case of human activity, and it create the anthropogenic pressure on wildlife. Okay, so when the human population increases and the fragmentation of the wildlife habitats happen, so what happened? The anthropogenic pressures increases and the wildlife comes in a very specific area. So wild species goes away from the urban area, and some of the wild species are interact with the human, and they adopt themselves to stay with the human beings in the urban area, like monkeys, crows are there. Okay, so some species have adapted easily and they have enjoyed the interaction with the human being. So if you observe the relationship with some animal, we have good relationship where we are having the positive welfares as well as positive emotions with them. But in case of the other animal, those who went towards the forest or toward the deep forest away from the urban area, so we can say that the human and animals are having the relationship, or we can say interactions with the two ways. The one is the positive interaction and the second one is the negative interaction. So in case of positive human animal relationship, it can be defined conceptually as well as the operationally differently. So in that, the basically the perception is positive human animal relationship can be defined conceptually based on positive perception by the animal of the human. Okay, so in case of the positive perception, if they have, they will stay positively, and the operationally the animal shows voluntarily approach as well as the spatial proximity. So in that case, the voluntarily approach also contains the sign of anticipations, pleasure, relaxation, and other indicators of rewarding experience arising from the interacting with the human being. Okay, so when we observe the other side of the part, the human are interacting with the animal, or wild animal will interact with the human in the negative interaction. So the human and wildlife make a conflict, or we can say that is the man-wild conflict. Okay, so the man-wild conflict is the negative interaction between the human and wild animal. So it is in that the both people as well as the wildlife, the people lost their resources, or their sometimes the own people they will lose, or the wildlife will lose their habitat. So undesirable consequences will happen when the conflict between the human and wildlife will happen. So human wildlife conflict is defined by, the definition was given by the Worldwide Fund for Nature, that is WWF. Okay, so what they define, any interaction social, economic or cultural life on the conservation of wildlife or on the environment and on the human interest. So that is the definition of the wildlife human conflict. And when we observe, the conflict is basically the critical local as well as global threat. Okay, so it is the emerging problem for the human being as well as for the globe. So in case of when the conflict will happen, both the party has to lose something. They will negotiate for the resources, for the values, for the relationship, for the economic, political and territory interest. Okay, so in the great number of species will get affected by this conflict issues. Most of the large carnivores, mainly the we can say the tiger, jaguar, leopard or cheetahs, then many large primates, crocodile, then birds and other organisms or other animals, and of course the human being, there are millions of people. So in case of the human wildlife conflict, major threats are for the tiger, jaguar and crocodiles are there, as well as in some part elephants also. If you see the cheetahs, leopard, jaguars, they are basically the very similar organism, but they have the minor differences. We can easily identify with their skin. Okay. So I have given the diagram in which the cheetah, leopard and jaguar are given, as well as on the beside it is tiger is also there. Okay. So basically there are, as United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are there. So in that goal, total 17 goals are there. So in that the climate actions, life below water, life on land are there. So we have to maintain the climatic actions, we have to maintain the no poverty. Like that, there are the many developmental goals are there. Total 17 goals are there. But the point number 14 and 15, that is life below water and life on land, is related with the wildlife. So wildlife and we can say the life below water is related with the marine life also. But it is marine as well as fresh water. So life below water as well as life on land is related to the maintaining the good relationship with the wildlife by the human being. Okay, so we can say that for that, if we do the conflict, so there are the major things will happen. Both the parties, or we can say both of man as well as wildlife animals, they both will get the losses. Okay. So what are the challenges we have in case of the man-wild conflict? So man-wild conflict are a global conservation priority. Why? We will see in the next some slides. Then as well as man-wild conflict are very complex. It has emotions like fear, anger, power. So we will whenever we will see any organism, any wildlife organism comes towards us, so we will feel fear, or we will feel anger also. Some people will get anger because the losses happened because of that animal. So that's why. Okay. So power. Then in cultures also, different cultures are there. So in some cultures, the poaching or hunting is their traditions. So that is also involved in that, as well as economics, means for the money purpose also some people will some people will do the poaching or hunting, and they will get the money from that, as well as to own security, own belief, and sometimes for the politics also, the many people will do that. Okay, conflict will that manipulate the conflict. At the same time, one more challenge is there. That is, every single case of man-wild conflict is different and unique. So this is the very, very important. Why? Because always, if we want to solve the problem, we need some background, or we need some history of that, or we will study the previous experiences, from the previous experiences. But in case of the man-wild conflict, we are not able to understand what will happen next, because each and every single case of man-wild conflict is different as well as it is unique. So because of the uniqueness of every single case, we cannot predict what will happen and how the animal will think, and animal will react on the at the time of the meet in front of them. The man and wild will come in contact or come in front of them. So what they will react, how they will react. So we cannot justify that. Now, in case of the man-wild conflict, as I said, the first challenge is global conservation priority. So why? Now we will see why it is the global conservation priority. I said priority means it is very, very important. See, in case of the Asia and the South Asian part, South Asia or Southeastern part, so there are the, in the map I have shown you, the cattle density, that is from high to low in India as well as in Bangladesh, in Myanmar, and some other countries are there. So if you observe, the cattle density is more, and at the that is the with the blackish color I have shown, and in the second red color, the tiger range outside the protected area is given. So what is meant by that? Already in government bodies, they have the separate department, as well as they have made the rules, and they have restrict the area for the wildlife. But there is a problem with that, with the tigers. They are not following the boundaries. They are not able to follow the boundaries, and in that case, now almost in some areas, in some areas, tigers are outside of that protected area, and they will come in contact with the livestock as well as in human being. So they will kill for their food, for their shelter. They will kill the livestock or human being. Okay. The same scenario we can observe in the northern Mexico to northern Argentina. Is around the 17 countries are there. So here, if you observe, so the linings are, we can say the straight lines are there, transparent lines are there, that will shows the jaguar range. Okay, so where the jaguars are found, and at the same in the colored white to yellow or white to reddish direction, it is showing that the cattle, or we can say livestock, are present in that area. So in the middle, greenish color or the brownish greenish color is showing that is the area where the jaguar are outside protected area. If we observe, if we calculate by some statistical methods, or some research happens already previously, so they have given the intimation that the 64% of jaguar are outside the protected area. So it is the major threat to the human being as well as to the cattle. Okay, so in this case, we can say that the 65% of the jaguars are outside the protected area, and we have to live with the coexist with them, or we have to coexist with them. So it is the major threat, or we can say the major problem. We have to maintain the relationship, and that also by protecting ourselves as well as themselves also. Okay. So in this case, we can say why this happen. We can see in the, for example, if we have given the ecological traps are there, and government has given the protected area for the animals or like tigers. So what will happen in that protected area? They will stay, but when they get the less number of food, less quantity for the food, less quantity for the shelter, so they will come in. They will see the opportunity. They are also the opportunity. So they will see the opportunity, and towards the urban area, towards the suburban or urban area like villages, they will get the cattle very easily. And once they will move towards the direction of the villages and urban area, so they will easily get the food. So they will move towards that direction and they will continue. But after that, what will happen if any tiger will come in the village or in the like in the urban area? So we does not have that system. We can protect them. So what we will do? We will protect ourselves first, and we will harm the tigers. So for that, government bodies are also working to protect them. But sometimes the tigers may kill. So that will happen. So it will ecologically again the problematic, and it will harm to the wildlife. So during the conflict, either the human being will get harmed or the wildlife will get harmed. So this is the reality of the we can say the overall the forest area, nearby the forest area. Okay. Why worry about the human-wild conflict? So because wildlife do not respect the boundaries, as I said earlier also. So they will not follow the boundaries like as the government has given the boundaries. So they will not follow. That is the main thing. And they will not stay inside the park. They are very, very important. So they have positive benefits to the society as well. For example, recreational, monetary, ecological, physical utility are there. So recreational means as we will go to the national forest park or to see the tiger or to see the different animals. So there are the recreational benefits are there. As well as they will maintain the ecology. Already Atul sir shown that diagram. Umbrella tiger is the topmost part of the umbrella. So in that ecological benefits are there. So that it will maintain the food web. Okay. As well as the climate change is exacerbating these conflicts. Basically, the climate change is the main source or main we can say from there the origin of the conflict will happen, because due to the we are in many villages like those who are nearby the protected areas or protected forest. So they will, if the tiger or any animal will come in towards the village or towards the agricultural land, so they will harm to the crop as well as to the cattle. So they will not and as well as the due to the climatic changes, the proper food they are not getting inside the protected forest area. That is also the one reason. Okay. In case of the losses, we can observe the different type of losses are there. So during the human-wild conflict, the losses of for example, lions and baboons are there. So baboons are monkeys actually. So they will kill the more number of small animals. Okay. So if we have the hen in the villages nearby the nearby area, so if the hens are like small animals like that, they will kill them. So lion is also the great economical loss will happen because the high value cattle, like, if we observe, so like the cows, buffaloes, they are having the high value, and that cattle will killed by the lions many times. So it is in the Zimbabwe they have studied, the Butler has studied that. And in case of the wildlife conflict of Uganda, we can study the olive baboons, bush pigs, and the elephants. They are also giving the harm to the crop, agricultural crop. So that maize and sweet potato crops are they will get destroyed. At the time of the different countries, the elephant, then green parrots, as well as baboons, then lions, leopards, tigers, these all are showing the losses. But their losses are basically they are harming the cattle, one. The second one is they will harm or kill the human beings, and third is they will destroy the crops. So in these three major losses are there in that case. Okay. Now, in case of India, as we have here, we have told you that the tiger and Asian elephant are the main reason for the conflict, as well as lion and leopards are also there. So in case of the tiger and the elephant, whenever the conflict between the man and the wildlife, it will happen. So either the man will kill the animal, or the animal will kill the people. Okay. So what happened from in 2015 to 17, every year around 350, averagely 350 people were killed by the animals, that elephants. Okay. So in the 2015, 392 people are killed, then people were killed, and in 2016, 415 people were killed, and in 2017, 254 people were killed. At the same time, during that 14 to 16 year, 2014 to 2016, during that period, 84 elephants were killed by the human being. Okay, so the people, those who are killed by the tigers during the same period, they are 34 in 2015, 31 in 2016, 14 in 2017, and after 17, 18, during the period of 18, the 13 people were killed within the 2-3 months period. Okay, so at the same time, the tigers are killed by human beings. That is huge number. 345 tigers were killed. Okay, so it is like in case of elephant, more number of people killed by the elephant, and in case of tiger, the more number of tigers are killed by the people. Okay, so it's depend on the values as well as the size of the animal also. The tiger will have more value, more valuable things, and skin of the tiger, then tooth of the tigers are very costly. They will sell. So for that, the hunting will happen. Okay, and in case of elephant, because of size of the elephant, people are not able to kill them easily. Okay. Now, on the second side, what is given, that is the government have spent 15 crore money on the conflict mitigation, as well as the some other mitigate conflict steps have taken. So in the elephant area, like the elephant proof trench that is spreaded in the 584 kilometers. Solar power fence is there, 15,000 kilometers. Then the wall is also prepared in the elephant proof wall was prepared in the 35 kilometers. Okay, so like this, they are the mitigate conflict to avoid the mitigate conflict. So that process are taken by the government, and government is also doing many things. Okay, we will see that also. So now the question is arise, why animal attack on people? Okay, so when we go to the Tadoba with the gypsy safari or for the tourist safari, so at the time the animal will not attack on people. Okay, but sometimes animal will attack on people. It is very rare. Okay, so the animal attack on people is very rare, and human are a threat to the animal. So human will feel fear, and the human will feel fear from the human. Animal will feel fear from the human beings, and the animal safety and the large predators will consider us as a prey. Okay, so those who are the large predators, they will consider as a prey. So at the two different points are there. So some animal will feel fearful, and some animal will consider as a food. Okay, so by both the way they can attack, means for the both the reason they can attack. Then the attack are of two types. Some are the defensive attack. That's in that case, if the animals will feel fear or the threat is from the human being, then they will do the defensive attack. So for example, the crocodile trapped for the translocation. So that is the defensive attack. Then terrestrial attack, that is the naturally aggressive one. So during the terrestrial attack, we can say the naturally aggressive, they are because they will feel we are the prey. So bees and swans, birds are there, they will attack on us sometimes. Okay. Some animals will underestimate the human being because of the size. If the size of the animals like elephant, then shark are there, so they feel we are the very small, and we are very small in size, so they will attack on us. Okay, and for the food or for the safety also sometimes. Now, what are the causes of human-wild animal conflict? So basically, the habitat fragmentation is the major cause of the human-wild conflict. So earlier, or now also in some area, encroachment of the forest land by the local people happen. So because of the encroachment, wildlife habitat is shrinking. Day by day it is shrinking, and the animal migrate from own habitat to the human habitats for the searching of the space, for the food and the shelter also. So sometimes for the food, sometimes for the new space, they will search. Okay. As a result, when the increasing the chance of the human-wild conflict, the incidents will happen that will increase the disturbances of wild animal and own habitat, as well as in the sometimes it is in the human habitat also. So there are the two ways. Either the human being will go in the wild animal habitat, so for the collection of food or collection of wood or fodders, or during the deforestation also. So sometimes the man-wild conflict happen in the habitat of the animals, or we can say wildlife habitat. And in some cases, the incidents are happen inside the human habitat also. Okay. Now, the most incidents of man-animal conflict are noticed during the summer. Why? Because during the summer, the water scarcity will increase, and the wild animal will not get water in their own habitat in the wildlife forest, so they will come towards the city or towards the water sources. Okay, so livestock and wild animal have to share the limited water in the same area, so at that time the conflicts can be happen. Okay, then prey base, due to the poaching or the hunting of the herbaceous animal, we can say that the illegal poaching happens in the forest area. So during that, the carnivorous after that the carnivorous animal will not get the food. So due to the decreasing of the prey or decreasing of the food, they will go towards they will move towards the cattle lifting. Okay. Then now, in case of habitat destruction, there are the different ways are there by which the habitat were destructed or habitat will destruct. But in that that is how the humans are attached with them, how the humans are indirectly connected with the habitat destructions. Earlier we have discussed the habitat destructions. In that the human are directly connected, but sometimes the indirect connections is also there. So that is the habitat can be destroyed by the natural causes, then human actions and pollutions. In natural causes, lightning strike, fires, hurricanes, earthquake and ice storms are there. But in case of human action, that is building the highways, subdivisions, then factories, agricultural practices, during that human actions also the habitat were destructed. Okay, then pollutions are there. So chemical contaminant, landfill smoke, smog and acid rain, that they were also destroyed the habitat. Okay, so there are the three different ways are there. The natural causes is because of the climatic changes also. Sometimes the natural causes will happen, and in that the human action and pollution, that completely the human being are completely directly connected with that, and they are responsible for the habitat destructions. Okay, how the human impact on the wildlife, that is the harvest, hunting and fishing. So many times in the wildlife area also the fishing will happen and illegal hunting will happen. Then introduce, now the monoculture is also introduced by the forest department because of to get the more economical benefits. Then fire suppressions are there. Then campsites and trail developments are there, like the walking trails or that is the recreational activity, or we can say the safaris, jungle safaris, like that. Then so in the different ways the human will impact on the wildlife, that as well as the grazing of the cattle, that will also impact on the wildlife. Then minings, predator controls and harassments also. Whenever if we go to the forest area for the trail, or we can say the jungle safari, so at that time many people will harass the animals. They will throw some stones or like that. So it will give the aggression to that animal, as well as the because of mining mining in the forest area or near to the forest area also. impact on the wildlife, and that will be very negative impact will happen because of minings. In Chandrapur district, the coal mines are there, as well beside the coal mines, the Taduba National Park is there. So we can able to observe what are the effects or negative effects impact on the wildlife from that mining. Now, so if we observe the major causes of the conflict, so basically due to the agricultural expansion, human settlement, they are the main one, and deforestation is also there. So poaching is very less, 4%, illegal grass collection, that is 10%, deforestation is 18%. So like whatever the conflicts happen up to now, so on that basis this data was collected, and the agriculture, due to the agriculture expansion in the village side, the forest land were captured for the agricultural purpose, and sometimes the human settlement is also there. So that will give the more manifestos to the conflict. Okay, so to defend crop raiders, farmers have been practiced the crop guarding, live fencing, and scarecrow and smoking. Okay, so basically the farmers will use the gardening, guarding their crops, as well as the fencing is also done by some farmers in the beside their farm, around their farms. So that will controls, or that will protect their crops from the predators animals. Okay, as well as to the livestock, also they will protect from that. How to work with human-wild conflict at different scale. So basically, it is the main nowadays. It is increasing, like every year the man-wild conflicts, where the number of man-wild conflict were increasing. So now we have to work for them, or we have to work with the human-wild conflict at different scale. And so we have to first we have to work on the local level. Second, the national level, nation will work, that the government bodies and other organizations are working on that. And in the international case, the UN, United Nations, are working on that international scale. Okay, so the local community level, we can aware more about the wildlife and their importance in the students, as well as in the villagers, those who are illiterate or less illiterate with them, as well as if the like elephants, like animals are there, so we will keep them like outside of the villages by giving food outside of the village to them. Then we can able to arrange the hoardings or banners for the protection or for the awareness of the wildlife, and we can organize the wildlife related competitions like essay competitions or photography competitions, or we can say different competitions we can arrange. So by that, the local people or local community will get aware of the importance of wildlife. And in that case, we can say that if the local people will aware more, so they will not hurt or they will not kill the wild animals. So by that way, and they will inform to the government bodies, so government bodies will take action. So in that way, they can able to involve in the process. Okay, so at the same time, the national level, if you observe, so again, one more thing in the local level, if you do the fencing around our area, like agricultural land, or so that will be the transferring of the ownership of the landowner as well as to the wild animals. So they will understand that is the boundaries of that animal. Okay, so basically now the fencings are preferred in many areas because of the wild attacks. Okay, wildlife attacks. The fencings will be preferred, but in some cases, what we found, the fencings are done with the electric current with the high power. So that is the dangerous thing. If we do the fencing with high electric current, so the animal will get harm. Okay. Sometimes the high power is there, so tigers will that burn, like already Atul sir told about that. So in this case, we can say the fencing during the agricultural land means we are transferring the ownership of the animal outside of that fencing. Okay. So at the same time, the coexistence we have to maintain the value, and we have to protect the animals, as well as we will get the economical and tangible benefits from the wildlife. Okay, from the forest area. Or so that will be the best example of coexistence. We will protect the wildlife and we will get the economical benefits from the forest. So what will happen in that case? So both will coexist, both the like wildlife animal as well as the human will coexist, and the time, as the time will pass, so they will stay coexistently. Okay. Now, in case of the national or regional scale, the good example is about the Mauritius. So in the Mauritius, they have involved in the multiple stakeholder in a national project for the bat conservation. Okay, so the fruit bats are conserved in the national level, and with the help of multiple stakeholders. In that, the media, general public, tourism industries, then experts, wildlife organizations, as well as companies, then school, colleges, government bodies like Ministry of Agro Industries and Food Securities. So they all are involved, and they all have scaled in the national level, and they have protected the bat, and because of that conservation, the bat quantity or bat numbers of bats which are already extinct are increasing. Now, in case of international scale, the United Nations is working on that. So the one incident happened lastly when from the Myanmar, the Rohingya people will relocate from one country to another country. At that time, they will traveling or they are going from the forest area, so in a group. So at that time, they are like if any animals will attacking on them, or any animals are seen in the forest area, so they will kill them. So during that period, United Nations Refugee Agency and as well as the IUCN have given the proper instructions to the refugee people, and they have the volunteers of the IUCN and United Nations, they have protected the elephants and other animals in that area. Okay, so it is the international scale where the United Nations will play important role, and there are the preventive strategies are there. In that preventive strategies, behavioral change, that is the first very important, that is the education and training at all the level, whether the person is illiterate or whether the person is school going or college going or adult. So in all level, the education and training about the behavioral change for the wildlife, we have to maintain it. Okay. At the same time, we have to improve the land use planning, and we have to control should not give the first response at any time. If we see the tiger or any animal, whether they will harm us or not, we don't know. So why we should give the first response? If we can protect ourselves, but without giving the response to that animal. So that in that way also we can change our behavior. The second, waste management system that restricts the wildlife access to area, the urban area. So we have to manage the good waste management system. So in that, the proper transportation, proper settlement, as well as the proper the decomposition of the waste management, we should plan. And according to that system, if we follow, so the wildlife animal will not attract towards the waste, and they will stay away from the rural areas. As well as we can, as we have seen earlier, that is the fencing. So like that, the artificial and natural barriers we can prepare. So in the case of the barriers, the natural barriers are there. In that, the river, coast, and mountain ranges are the natural barrier. So we can follow follow them. As well as the rubber walls and barbed wires we can use as an artificial barrier. Then guarding, like the cattle are, if we are going, or anyone is going for the cattle grazing, so with them the dog and the one human presence are guarding the cattle. So that is also there. And relocation, voluntarily human population resettlement is alternative in the alternative land is also the important, because the local communities are staying near to the forest. They are depend on the forest products. But if we relocate them from the forest area, near to the forest area, from that to the safe area, so that will be better, and we should give them the training for their jobs or employment. Okay. Then what are the mitigative strategies are there? So compensative systems are there. So in that, compensations, like there are the two ways are there, compensation system. The one method is financially compensate. That, as I said earlier, when we relocate the people, so we will give the financial compensate in the case of payment of money, or in the other way, the benefits, that is, we will give the licensing to exploit the natural resources to that nearby area for the fuel, wood, or for the timber, fodder, like that. So we can give that two ways. But importantly, when the government people are giving the financial compensate, so it should not be the constrict budget. It should not be the irregular basis. So that is the important. And the insurance program as well as incentive programs are two important programs are there. Insurance program, if the livestock they're killed or crop were the losses of the crop or livestock happen, so villagers and local bodies will get the insurance of that. So that is that will help to the people for their livelihood. And incentive programs will base on the conservation friendly practices, and if we follow the adaptations of the animals, or if we protect the animals in the area, so in that case the subsidy in other ways like electricities or in other ways, the incentives can be given by the government. As well as the community-based natural resource management scheme is there, but it is not in India. It is in the Indonesia. And wildlife translocation, that is, the translocation consists of moving a certain number of animals. So as like last time, the government planned to transfer the tigers from the Tadoba to other area where the less number of tigers are there, because in the Tadoba area, Tadoba National Park, number of tigers are increasing every year. So they have planned to translocate the animal to the available or suitable habitat where the terrestrial vacancies are there, where the number of tigers are less. Okay. So that is the wildlife translocation. So that is there are the different plans are there. So to control the poaching, to stop the monoculture, like only single teak plants are giving the more benefits. So forest FDCM government will adopt the FDCM government will planted more teak. So it will it will not maintain the food web. So it will so because of that interdisciplinary approach as well as the coexistence approach we should follow. And at the same time, the importance of the planning interventions that optimize the participants like experts, policymakers, and affected communities that are involved, and they should plan accordingly. Okay, so every multi-stakeholders are involved, so then only we can able to control the control over the problem. Okay, so one good technique is there. One technique that has been used to solve the problem, that is called as the structural decision making, and the technique was given by the US Geological Survey and US Fish and Wildlife Services. So as described as Ranjay and et al. So that the model they have presented, so identify objectives is the first step. In that, the species is the identify objectives, then the collection of data, because carnivorous, how the man-wild conflicts happen, how many conflicts happen. So in each and every conflict, it is different and unique. So we have to collect the every conflict data. Then what will be the risk model? What will be the risk will comes. So for that, building the risk model is also important. And the map risk, that in that the media format, or we can say the level of the risk we can plan, and already in the forest department buffer zone, core zone are there. So in core zone, the more animals and more dense forest is there, then buffer zone less density of the wildlife is there. So like that map risk map is also we should apply. Then applying for the conservation on apply to the conservation. Just a moment. Conservation and management. So in that the audience are the general people. So for them, how the conservations should happen. So that we should give them, and we should train them, and we should aware them. So for that, media as well as the digital things we can use. And after that, the accounts for the feedbacks, in that the whatever the model will works. So in that, for the updation of that models and maps, we should again and again we should reform them. Okay, so we should update them. So that is the model for solving the problem. Okay, lastly, the references. Basically, I want to tell you that the man-wild conflict is very, very important, because it is the complex, it is the unique, and it has the difference in every incident, or a single case will shows the differences. So and it is day by day it is increasing. Nowadays in Tadoba or a forest area nearby the Tadoba or Medghat, the every day one man wild conflicts happen, minimum one man wild conflict happen. So if we will not study now, or if we will not feel importance of this topic, then we cannot able to protect ourselves as well as the complete globe. Because if we kill the wildlife, so it will be again the problematic. If the wildlife animal will kill us, that is also the problematic. Okay, so thank you. And today is the International Tiger Day. So I gave a message, save the tiger. So, ma'am is over. Shirin ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any question?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Your presentation was very engaging. You presented the material on the man and wild conflict in a way that everyone could understand. It was really a great pleasure to listen to you. We have a few questions from the participants. With your due permission, may I put them forward?
Yes, sure.
The first question is, India has excellent wildlife laws, but they are not enforced well. Why?
Okay. So, as I said, there are the economical benefits for the different angles are there in that case. So, the first thing, more awareness we should keep because many people are not aware about the laws. Then the second part, the people are not serious about the laws, what we should do and what we should not, and why these laws are emerged. So people are not aware about that. So that is the main important, because if we know it will indirectly harm to us. If today we kill one animal, so it will disturb the ecosystem, it will disturb the food chain, and it will give a bad impact on us. If we understood that, then we will follow properly, everyone will follow properly.
So we have another question also.
Yes.
So it is said that the nature has its own ways and it takes care of everything. What will nature do to protect wildlife, and what we must do to enable that to happen?
Okay. Ma'am, the human are the dominant animal. Actually, the human are the dominant in whole the globe. So as we have, we should not dominate in each and every case. We should understood that the nature is more dominant than us. If we should understood them, so nature will do properly, and we have to maintain the proper dignity, or we can say the proper ways of the nature, so that the nature will do their work. Otherwise, like the man-wild conflicts is one problem arising. I'm saying arising. So it will emerge again and again. So the dominancy of human being will reduce, and the one time it will change in future, like that can happen. So nature will do by their own rule. So in that, the human is one part of nature, so we should follow the nature. That is the best way.
Thank you, sir, for answering the queries of the participants with proficiency. We are sure that participants have certainly gained from breadth of your knowledge and depth of your expertise. I thank you on behalf of SFS College for a very valuable experience. Now I hand over the proceedings to my colleague, Ms. Vinisha Brody, a faculty from Biology Department of Junior College, for a formal vote of thanks. Thank you. Over to you, Vinisha.
Thank you, Sarika ma'am. A very good morning to one and all. There is nothing like the thrill of going through the jungle, looking for a tiger, and knowing that they could be watching us already. Therefore, we should act before they vanish for forever. Bearing this thought in mind, this is Ms. Vinisha Brody, a junior college faculty from the Department of Biology, SFS College. On the behalf of the management and principal, Dr. Katie Thomas, sir, I feel immensely fortunate to deliver a vote of thanks for this national webinar on International Tiger Day. I am extremely grateful to both our eminent speakers, Mr. Atul Deokar and Dr. Pratik Bankar, for accepting our invitation and sharing their knowledge with us. Thank you for inspiring and encouraging us with your words on this special day. I would also like to thank the management and principal Dr. Katie Thomas sir for organizing this national webinar and for giving everyone such a brilliant virtual platform to enhance their knowledge. I would also like to thank the organizing committee members, which include Dr. Shreen Iqbal, the coordinator, Dr. Sarika Gaurav, Ms. Vinisha Bruti, Mr. Mervyn Lazarus, Ms. Reshma Kazi, Ms. Shweta Kanodia, and Ms. Pinky Gidwani for all the guidance and technical assistance. Your teamwork has made the event a grand success. Finally, I thank all the participants for their valuable presence and active participation. A note for the participants. Dear participants, the link for the feedback form has been sent in the Google Meet chat box and the YouTube chat, and also the respective WhatsApp groups. Please do remember to fill up the form. Till then, take care and stay safe. Wishing you all a great time ahead. Thank you, everyone. I now request everyone to please stand for the national anthem. Thank you.